Okay, Shannon, you can put us on.
Okay.
Okay, we conducted a couple pre-trials in chambers. Uh, In the Holler Jackson matter, we've got a trial date scheduled, and we will keep that trial date on. It will be more in the nature of an evidentiary hearing because the father has demanded a jury trial. And as we figure out the details of that, we will adjust. But in the meantime, we keep that on. In the Jimenez-Stidham matter, we also have a dispositional review hearing scheduled. Peter, can I have a docket? Thank you. I was just wondering when that was set for.
9:30.
All right. I think what I'll do is just address the pretrial at that time. Remind me. Okay. So then the first case up. Shannon, next file, please.
Are we going to address the Jimenez Common pretrial?
Oh, that trial remains as scheduled. And yes, I'll address the pretrial when I do the review hearing. Okay, next up is Barnhill. Let me see who else I need to let in. Molly Wagner. And let's see, we have do we have an incarcerated parent here?
The father's incarcerated.
Mike Kelly waived his parents.
Oh, okay. And let's see, Nora Porter. Let me see if I've got her out there.
The relatives are logged on as well.
Can you give me their names, please?
Wandell is the last name, or Reisner.
Okay. I am letting Brooke Wandell in.
And then Nora Porter should be logged on.
Yeah, I don't know what she's logged on under. Let me check a couple of these. I have someone with a 626 area code phone number. Any idea who that might be?
Her phone number starts with 248.
All right, well, I'm having trouble getting her in. Here we go, an LG Stylo. As soon as we have an audio connection, I'll find out who that is. I just let someone into the courtroom with the LG Stylo 5X phone. Can you hear me? I thought I heard something. Try again. Ms. Wagner, do you have the mother's phone number?
Yes. It's
Let me try. Go ahead, 248.
607 4953.
And that's Nora Porter.
Yes.
Let me try that. Hello? Well, it didn't dial. Let me try again.
You have reached the voicemail box of 24860744953. At the tone, please record your voice message.
I'm going to try again. I think she couldn't get a call while she was trying to connect, but I see she's logged off. We'll try one more time.
Hello?
Hello, is this Nora Porter?
Yes?
Good morning, this is Judge LaFlamme. I'm assuming that was you on the LG Stylo trying to log into the Zoom meeting.
Yes.
Okay, well, that wasn't working, so that's why I dialed your number. So Ms. Porter is now present by telephone. Can I have everyone else on this file identify themselves for the record?
Molly Wagner, DHHS.
Callie Tucker here on behalf of the agency.
Ken Hotchkiss on behalf of Nora Porter, mother.
Rebecca McCluskey, guardian ad litem.
Mike Kelly on behalf of the father, Mr. Burnhill.
Hey, Mr. Kelly, you did waive the father's presence here today?
Yes, Your Honor, I reviewed the report and the recommendations really do not even address him, so I didn't feel it was necessary for him to be present.
Okay, Ms. McCluskey, how are the Barnhill children doing?
I did leave a message for placement. I for some reason didn't have this on this date, so it was a kind of a late reach out. I wasn't able to reach them, but I was able to leave a message. I know it's been a kind of an issue with a full voicemail box in reaching the placement, but I have spoken to them. I have no concern with this placement. I know the children are doing really well there. I've reviewed the report. I have no objection to the goal change to guardianship. Thank you.
And the guardianship goal change is being recommended for Sarah and Michael only, correct?
Yes.
So, Mr. Hotchkiss, is your client in support of the goal change for Sarah and Michael?
Your Honor, I left a message with my office and cell number for Ms. Porter. I did receive a call back. I have reviewed the report, and the report seems to suggest that she is in support of that. Since she's with us today, perhaps she could confirm that she is. And if she is, I think that makes sense. Thank you.
So Ms. Porter, you're able to hear all of that?
Yes, I am.
And do you support changing the goal to guardianship for Sarah and Michael?
Yes, I do.
Okay, and I guess maybe I didn't realize this when I was reading the report. What's the plan for Tristan?
Tristan's case closed.
He was still at the top of the report, or I'm sorry, at the top of my order. That answers that mystery. Thank you. I think since everyone is in support, I'm going to grant the request, and I'm going to change the goal for Sarah and Michael to guardianship. Is this going to be a subsidized guardianship or a epic guardianship?
Subsidized.
All right, so what I need to do then is placement currently licensed, and have they been for 6 months?
No, they're in the process of becoming licensed. They're almost there. It should happen, we're hoping within the next month. So, yeah, there's
Well,
going to be
it sounds like it's a little early then for me to order the criminal record check and central registry clearance and home study. We need to wait until they've been licensed for 6 months before we can initiate that process for getting the subsidy approved.
I believe because they're relatives, there may be a way around the 6-month period. I'm not 100% sure on that, but that's, I believe that's what my supervisor told me, was that since they're relatives, we don't have to wait the 6 months to file for the guardianship. But either way, we could probably wait till the next court hearing.
Yeah, I know the concept of the criminal record check registry clearance is that it be received close in time to the place at which the court would be actually placing them under the guardianship.
Okay.
So I will approve the goal change. We'll set the matter for a review hearing January 5th at 9 a.m. And at that point, hopefully we'll have everything in place and know whether I can specifically order those background checks and home study if necessary.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. January 5th at 9 a.m. That concludes
Thank
our
you.
hearing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good day, Ms. Porter.
You too. Thank you.
You're welcome.
That one.
Yeah, I didn't, when did we drop Tristan? Was that the last hearing? Yes.
So I just didn't remove him from actual, from
Yeah,
the latest, okay.
yeah. So. All right, I think that fixes it.
Other case, you are right. If you didn't dismiss the petition, then it should have never been issued. You're right.
I think so.
Yep, I think you're right. I've just been sitting here thinking about it. You're right.
Well, I love it. Can you put that in writing?
God, you do love that, don't you?
Just as much as you do.
Yeah, but nobody ever says it to me.
Got another file for me?
I thought you were doing that one next.
Oh, is that up next? Pre-trial.
I mean, I don't care. You can
All right, we'll go ahead and do Jimenez Stidham. Let me see who else I need to let in the room. Amber Fader, Jackie Johnson. And let's see if we've got parents in here. Ashley Conan. I don't see her logged in. Were we expecting her to attend?
Or I've attempted to communicate with her. She's my client, and I've not been able to reach her.
Likewise, Your Honor, I've had the same issues with David Conan.
All right, well, neither one of them are logged in. There's a 626 telephone number.
Your Honor, that's for Waybright. That's my client at Chelsea Waybright. That's not 9:15 hearing.
All right, then I don't see anyone else in related to this case. So could I have each of you identify yourselves for the record on the Jimenez Stidham file?
William Tucker here on behalf of the agency.
Amber Fader with MDHHS.
Mike Kelly on behalf of the father.
Ken Hotchkiss on behalf of Ashley Conan, mother.
Rebecca McCluskey, guardian ad litem.
So, Ms. McCluskey, how are the children doing?
Doing well, actually. We had a fairly lengthy FTM with the maternal great aunt, Ms. Green, who is now placement of Anna and Selena. The girls are doing well. Most of that revolved around the kidney transplant issue. So we're trying to work through that for Anna. Jacob is doing very well. It's my understanding he's going to be moving out of his current placement to a biological relative fairly soon. But the placement he is in right now is a great placement, and he's thriving there at this point. So I have no concerns. I've reviewed the report. I have no objection to the recommendations. Thank you.
And either counsel for parent have any objections to the recommendations?
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
Actually, I'm not seeing oh, here it is. Sorry. I wanted to look at the recommendations myself. Ms. Fader, do you have any additional information or modification to any of your recommendations?
I do not.
So we did conduct a pretrial in this matter as well. I guess I'm a little confused. Who's actually going to be adjudicated at this trial?
Dad, Mr. Conan, I believe.
Okay. And we'll keep that as scheduled for October 13th at 1 p.m. I will be implementing the recommendation since there are no objections, and I will set our next review hearing for January 5th at 8:45. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Your Honor, could you say that time again?
8:45.
Thank you.
Okay.
I have that solution to that problem when we get done.
Okay. Henry and Zachary Kemp. And I gave you my cheat sheet of who's to be let in. There it is. Okay. Chelsea Kirkpatrick, let me find her. Well, do we know if somebody else is filling in for her? She's not logged in.
Not that I'm aware of, Your Honor.
Kayla Upham is logged in. I'm going to let her in. She's a supervisor. Good morning, Ms. Upham. Are you covering the Kemp miners today?
Yes, I am.
Okay, mystery solved. Could I have, well, let's see, we need to let parents in. Let me see who's out there. Caitlin. And I'm not sure how to pronounce her last name. Column? I don't see her. Council, are you expecting any other parents to participate today?
Your Honor, sorry, Miss Colomb, Caitlin, the mother, her mother passed away last night. So I'm uncertain if she will be on or not. I know originally she was planning to be present, but with those new events, I'm not positive she'll be in attendance.
Who is her counsel?
Of myself, Your Honor, Rebecca.
Ms. McCluskey, would you like to proceed without her? She's not logged in, and I can understand under the circumstances why she might not be, but I'll leave that up to you if you want to proceed in her absence.
Well, I guess that would explain why her phone was going straight to voicemail, so I was not able to reach her. So I would prefer even just a short adjournment of a week because the agency is requesting a goal change. And I saw some release paperwork go around, and I've not spoken to my client about that at all. So if I could have a brief adjournment, I would appreciate that.
We can put this over 1 week.
October 13th at 8:45.
October 13 at 8:45. Ms. Upham, please express my condolences to the mom when you talk to her.
I will do that. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Okay, next up, Waybright Miners. Okay. Let's see who's covering that one. Ms. Banks, are you covering the hearing for the Waybright minors? Right.
Ms. Kirk should be online for it. I'm not sure if she's having technical difficulties getting in, but if she's unable to, I'm happy to cover the Waybright hearing.
I didn't see her name in the waiting room.
I'm not sure, Your Honor, to be honest. I know she was planning on calling in, but there must be an issue.
Okay, fair enough. And let's see, I need to let some parents in. Let me get the list. Chelsea Waybright, is that the 2626 number? Mr. Kelly?
Yes, Your Honor.
That's Ms. Waybright at the 626 number, I think you said earlier.
Yes, that's the number I had spoken with her yesterday.
Okay. And let's see, I guess that's the only parent I see listed. Okay, Ms. Waybright, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so Chelsea Waybright is present. Can I have everyone else on this file identify yourselves for the record, please?
Ellie Tucker here on behalf of the agency.
Madison Banks, foster care supervisor with Samaritas.
Mike Kelly on behalf of the mother, Ms. Waybright.
Ken Hotchkiss on behalf of Father Sean Kingston.
Rebecca McCluskey, guardian ad litem.
Ms. McCluskey, how are Bentley and Tyler doing?
Tyler's struggling a little. He recently moved to a new placement. They reported he was doing well at first, but he's starting to have some behaviors with adjustment. They are, and I know the agency, I believe, is working on this, but they are trying to get him set up with a new counselor. This placement is in Canton. But there seems to be some insurance issues. So I just want to make sure that the agency is on top of that, because they said Tyler's behaviors are becoming pretty disruptive. They're also moving to a new home. They think that's probably contributing to that, but he's struggling a little bit, but it sounds like he's in a good placement and they seem to be on top of what he needs at this time. Bentley's doing very well. Bentley's with his grandmother, who's been a part of his life all along. So I have no concerns there. Both placements did express concern with the agency canceling visits, because it sounds like both boys are not doing well when visits don't happen. And then Bentley's placement is having some trouble getting a hold of the agency. So I would just ask that either Ms. Kirk or the supervisor be sure to get a hold of placement for Bentley. There seems to be some communication issues there. Otherwise, I've reviewed the report. I'm in agreement with the recommendations. Thank you.
So Ms. Banks, are you able to speak to whatever the issues have been with respect to visits with the parents? You're muted.
I apologize. I'm unable to speak to it in specific detail at this time. I was expecting Ms. Kirk to be able to speak to it in more detail for the court. In regards to this communication with the placement, I had not been reached out to by the placement, so I'm unaware if they've been trying to discuss anything with Ms. Kirk. But after this hearing, I'm happy to reach out to them and bridge that communication gap.
Wonderful, thank you. Do you have any updates to the report?
No, I have no updates. We did note in there some of the behavioral concerns that have happened. We as well believe that them moving homes, his new placement, moving to a new home might be triggering him a little bit in regard to moving from his last placement. So we're working on getting him a new therapist closer to his current placement, as well as we wanted to give him some adjustment time through that move to see if it's that causing the behaviors or if there's another underlying factor. But I have no other updates for the court.
Thank you. Mr. Kelly, do you have a position on the recommendations?
Your Honor, I just indicate to the court after speaking with my client, she indicates to me she's in compliance with the terms of her probation. Her probation agent, Ms. Vance, is happy with her compliance and how she's proceeding. She had indicated to me she's completed her mental health therapy. She might have a lead on a house outside of what since she's gotten from the agency. All her screens have been negative. I know the court report is referencing some screens, positive screens that were occurring in August, but she indicates to me that she's been negative for probation since July, and she gets screened once a week there randomly. So it's unclear. And again, she's getting mouth swabs through the agency, which we seem to have had some issues with those over time. But she indicates to me she's compliant with the terms of her probation and would like the court to give discretion for her to have unsupervised parenting time because she is limited in terms of her contact with the child now. And there seems to be issues in terms of visits being canceled that are getting made up, but they're still getting, I think unsupervised would allow her that flexibility to be able to see the children more. Thank you.
Mr. Hotchkiss?
And I've not had any contact with my client, so I'd have no comment. Thank you.
All right, I am going to implement the recommendations. I will give the agent discretion for unsupervised parenting time for mom. And we will set our next review hearing for January 5th at 9 a.m. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, I think I wrote the wrong date on that last one, Shannon. Or maybe on a couple. I think I wrote 10-5 instead of 10-6. If you could fix that.
10-5, you mean January?
No, the date of my signature.
Oh, the signature. Yes, you did put 10-5.
I thought I did. Okay, next up is Marquise Walters. And let's see, post-term. We have Tiffany. And Callie Fire. I do not see her.
Your Honor, this is Madison Banks. I'm the supervisor over this case as well. Ms. Fier is ill today, so Ms. Mattinson is going to testify on both their behalves.
Okay, very good. Looks like we've got everybody in the room then. Could you each please identify yourselves for the record?
Tiffany Mattinson, Foster Care Samaritas.
Ivan Brown, LGAL.
So, Mr. Brown, how is Marquise?
He is thriving, like I never could have expected. The pre-adoptive placement has placed him in a local parochial school because in public school he was only getting 2 days a week, and that wasn't really working for him. The teachers are pleased with him. I'm just pleased about this whole situation. There is an issue. Marquise needs braces, and the foster parents are very frustrated. The DHS monitor, I don't know what the situation is, but this has been pending on their desk since June. This child needs braces. DHS has care and custody of Marquise. They need to provide for his medical. And I've gotten nowhere. The monitor is Mr. Hutchinson. I would ask the court to direct an order that DHS forthwith either approve or deny his medical for his braces. Thank you.
And Ms. Banks, are you in support of Mr. Brown's recommendation?
Yes, Your Honor, we're in agreement that Marquise is in need of the braces.
Can you give us a little more idea what the problem is with DHHS approving this? I know you're a purchase of service agency and you have to go through extra hoops to get their approval, but what's the problem?
I will defer to Ms. Mattinson since she has been directly working with DHS. I just sign off on it to go to DHS.
And she was here earlier, but she's not here now, so we can't
I'm
really
still-
ask her.
She's still
I'm
here.
sorry.
I'm still here.
You are there. Pardon me. I was looking for you in the wrong place. Can you speak to this issue, please?
Yeah, so I've been in direct contact with DHS regarding this issue. There was some additional documentation that was needed, which the foster parents did provide to me a couple weeks ago, and I did forward that off to DHS, but I have not heard back from them as of yet.
All right, well, I will include in my order directive to DHHS to immediately process the request for braces and advise the court within 2 weeks of the status of that request.
And the LGAL.
With that being the case, Your Honor, is it possible to get a copy of the order directly to our agency rather than it going to DHS and waiting for it to come to us? Sometimes there's delay in that fact.
Certainly. Shannon, do you have contact information for Ms. Banks so you could forward her a copy?
I don't.
Do you have Shannon's email address, Ms. Banks?
I do, Your Honor. I can send her an email just so she can have
Why don't you
mine.
do that, and then she'll be able to reply to your email.
Not a problem. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, otherwise I'm implementing the recommendations. We'll set our next post term for January 5th at 9:15.
We should have adoption completed by then.
That would be nice.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up is Kira Nichols. Kira or Kyra. I don't have my phonetic note because we don't pull the files for post terms. And let's see. Kyra Denton. We'll let her in. And let's see, do we have an adoption worker? Note. Okay. So who's LGAL on this file?
Ivan.
Okay, Mr. Brown, how is it Kyra or Kira?
Kyra.
Kyra. And Kyra Denton, do you agree with that?
Her name is Kira, and so is mine.
You're both Kira.
Yeah, we are.
You're confusing the daylights out of me. I don't know. I'll probably do the same thing next time around. My apologies. Anyway.
I get it all the time.
So, Mr. Brown, how is Kira Denton doing? Or Kira Nichols, rather. Sorry.
Very well. She's been placed since this case initiated in 2 years ago with her maternal aunt, who is a therapist in Ingham County. She's integrated into the family setting. She's just doing phenomenal with her aunt. And I have absolutely no concerns whatsoever with this placement. Kira's happy, and I'm pleased that she's there. The only thing that I'm a little concerned about, I know we had the COVID screw up timelines, but we're approaching a year since termination with a relative placement that's had her since day one. I'm just concerned that this went on way too long. This should have been an adoption that took place 6 months ago.
So, Ms. Denton, are we on track for November finalization?
I can't speak fully for the adoption worker. I know she's waiting on receiving a birth certificate from one of the foster parents. And I did meet with them yesterday, and the foster parent said it's been like a month since she requested it, so she doesn't know why it's taking so long. I do believe last time I heard from the adoption worker that November or December would be an appropriate month for adoption.
All right, well, we can certainly hope so. But if necessary, we will have another post-term January 5th at 9:15. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next up, Dalen Wilson. And let's see, Jessica Urch, I see is here. And I guess it's, and Ms. Banks, I think, at least is the caseworker. She's still in the room? I don't see her. There she is, okay. Okay, this is the matter of Dalen Wilson. Could each of you on this file please identify yourselves for the record?
Mike Kelly, guardian ad litem.
Madison Banks, foster care supervisor with Samaritas.
Jessica Urch, adoption worker from Lutheran Adoption Service.
Mr. Kelly, how is Dalen doing?
Your Honor, I called placement on September 29th and did not receive a return call. I've reviewed the report. I have no objection to the recommendations. I'm in agreement with the goal of adoption.
So, Ms. Urch, according to the report, it looks like we're hoping for a November finalization. Is that realistic?
I believe it is, yes.
That's good. Do you have anything else to report?
The only update I have is I was able to mail the legal paperwork to the family, and they are waiting to receive it as of now.
Very good. Ms. Banks, any update from you?
No, sir.
Very well. We'll implement the recommendations. If necessary, we will hold a post-term hearing on January 5th at 9:15. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next up, Terry and Trace Decker. So we'll let Ms. Kleckner and Ms. Legore in the room. Who's LGL on this file?
I am, Your Honor, Mike Kelly.
So Shannon, Maria Kleckner and Danielle Legore are both present. Mr. Kelly, how are Terry and Trace doing?
Your Honor, as usual, I call and leave, I get their voicemail, I leave them a message, and they don't return my calls. I left them each a voicemail message on September 29th for their personal cell phone numbers, which was provided to me by the caseworker. And they just simply haven't returned my calls. Unfortunately, this is par for the course that's been going on a good part of this case. Report, Your Honor, I have no objection to the recommendations. I'm in agreement with the ultimate goal of adoption. Thank you.
Ms. Kleckner, Ms. Legore, do either of you have anything to add?
I do not have any updates, no.
I do not have any updates to my report either.
Okay, looks like we're hoping for a December finalization. Is that still realistic?
I'm hoping so.
The main holdup seems to be getting paperwork back from adoptive parent.
That's correct. It's been a little bit of a struggle. I've just had to make lots of trips out there to gather information, and we're mostly waiting on John's fingerprints, his medical statement, and pet vaccinations at this point.
Do you have any concerns for the girl's well-being?
No, I do not.
Okay, we will set our next post term for January 5th at 9:15. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, and now we've got some prelims. First up is Love Neal. Shannon, do you know who is LGL on this? It's normally written on the jacket. I don't see it.
Be on the docket. It's Rebecca.
Okay, and let's see who else is on this file. Looks like Katie Comstock. And let's see, Charles Miller, based on what I read, he is not likely to participate. And let's see.
Your Honor, if we could also let in Emily Hudson.
Okay, can do that. I was looking to see if I had any parents in the room. It doesn't look like it.
Your Honor, she should be under the 240 phone number. She was gonna try to call in. She just told me right now.
Okay, and I see that number. Ms. Crabtree, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so Shannon Lynette Crabtree is present. And let's see, were there any appointments made at the 24-hour hearing?
I'm sorry, any what?
I was wondering if there were any attorney appointments made at the 24-hour hearing.
Yeah, I have not met with a lawyer yet, and I haven't gotten anything in the mail. I haven't met an attorney yet, no. But yes, they were supposed to get me one for the plaintiff.
All right, who's next up, Shannon?
Mike has been her attorney in the past. So
All right, Mr. Kelly has represented you in the past, and he is present here today. Normally, I would appoint the same attorney. Any objection to that?
I would prefer another one. I mean, if I could. I don't think he represented me good enough at my last time with my youngest son.
Well, I'm sure he represented you well, but I'll take your concern into account, and who would be next up?
Ken.
Thank you.
Mr. Hotchkiss will be representing you. He is present here today.
Thank you.
Okay. I'm sure we've covered this in the past, well, wait, let me make sure I get everybody else here. Kelly Tucker is here for the petitioner. Emily Hudson and Katie Comstock are also present. And obviously Ms. McCluskey as LGAL. So Ms. Crabtree, I think we've covered this. You don't have any Native American heritage, do you?
No, sir.
And the biological father of this child does not, to your knowledge?
I'm sorry, he does not what?
Does he have any Native American heritage to your knowledge?
No, sir.
Okay, all right. I need to advise you that you do have a right to a trial on the allegations of the petition, either before a judge or a jury, if you make a timely jury demand. Mr. Hotchkiss, is it necessary for me to read the petition out loud?
It is not, Your Honor. I have had an opportunity to review it. I'd ask that the matter be scheduled for pretrial and trial, and would note that it is a permanent request. And then I would just ask my client whether or not the information contained in the petition with respect to her address and phone number are still good, and that phone number is hers, so that I can get a hold of her.
Can you confirm that for Mr. Hotchkiss, please, Ms. Crabtree?
Yes, the phone number and the address is good. I do have one more phone number for a contact phone number, which is my mother's landline telephone.
Do you want to provide that now?
Oh, yes, I can. It is 517-795-2932.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Where is Love placed?
Love is currently, she's currently at a foster home right now.
Okay, thank you. I'm assuming there are no available relatives that are suitable?
No, there are not, Your Honor.
Your Honor, I think Mr. Way sent an email, sorry to interrupt, regarding a direct placement that the agency was going to request. Do you recall receiving that email?
Vaguely, I remember getting an email about a direct placement request. I didn't associate it with this file.
Okay.
Let me see if I can pull that up.
Well, you do that. Go ahead.
Oh, it looks like he sent it on October 1st. to both Your Honor and Rebecca McCluskey. And I think Ms. Hudson can explain more of what the request is.
All right, well, let me find the email first. And I'm sorry, give me the date again.
October 1st,
Okay.
around 4:45 in the afternoon.
There it is. Let me open it up. So the situation is we have a potential placement with siblings who were adopted by this placement, but they let their license lapse. So the agency is prohibited from placing with these parents, but believes that this is the best place for this child. Do I have that right?
Does that sound accurate, Ms. Hudson?
Yes, that's accurate. And they actually are actively pursuing to get their license again and have made significant progress just since Love's been born.
Well, certainly, I would believe it would be in the best interest of Love to be placed with siblings, if that's at all possible. Appears there are no concerns with the safety of this placement. It's just a simple matter where the agency cannot place because of the lack of a license. Ms. McCluskey, would you be in support of this placement?
I would. I'm not sure if, I don't believe Mr. Way's email indicated whether it's the couple that adopted Ms. Crabtree's daughter or son, but there are two separate placements and they are very close. They live close. They've kept those two children bonded. So I'd be very much in support of placement with either of those placements. I'm very familiar with them. Thank you.
All right. Well, the order should reflect then that the court conducted a placement hearing. Well, let me ask first, Mr. Hotchkiss, would you oppose this direct placement? Obviously, you'd prefer that the child be with her mother or his mother. What's Love's gender? I'm sorry.
Female.
Okay. Mr. Hotchkiss?
Your Honor, you are right. I would prefer that Love be with my client. I don't know of any reason why it's not appropriate to place Love with siblings. However, I am at a bit of a disadvantage to speak on behalf of my client, not having discussed this with her. So unless she has some strong reason or objection, I can't think of any. Thank you.
So, Ms. Crabtree, let me ask you, if you had the choice, I realize you'd prefer Love be with you, but if you had the choice of Love be with a sibling versus in totally unconnected foster placement, would you prefer that the placement be with one of the siblings?
If she's not allowed to be with me at the present time, I would prefer her be with siblings, yes. But I would really like for her to be at home.
And I understand that. Okay, I do find it's in Love's best interest to be placed with a sibling. I'm going to direct that the agency place Love with, and let me see if I've got the name here. I wasn't sure if it was
Danielle Smith.
Okay, and I see, just a second, there were a couple of attachments.
We did a brief home study for you just in case you wanted to see kind of dynamics of the house.
Yes. And I did have a chance to review that. Yes, so the court does find it's in the best interest for Love to be placed with Paul and Danielle Smith. I will reflect that in my order. We will set this matter for a pretrial and a trial.
Your Honor, I'm sorry, I have a question.
Go ahead.
Before we close out today in court, like I'm allowed to visit Love twice a week, 1 hour a week. Is there any way possible I can get like an extra day or maybe an extra hour with her? You know, for bonding, for her being an infant.
It looks like supervised visits were previously ordered at the 24-hour hearing. Is there any objection to that, first of all? I realize visits aren't required when there's a petition for permanent jurisdiction. But since there have been visits, I personally don't see any harm in there being. I'm not going to order the agency to conduct any more than they're required to conduct by law. But
Okay.
any reasons those visits shouldn't continue?
Your Honor, also the Parenting Center has tried to get a hold of Lynette multiple times this week. So until she returns their phone calls and gets a hold back of Jessica Payne at the center at DHS, then her visits can start. I don't know. I gave her a couple phone numbers and I can give her this phone number as well for them to reach her.
Yeah, I only have Sam's phone number and my phone is off. I didn't know I was to call anybody else. I apologize. It wasn't intentional.
All right, well, you need to make sure they have a way to get a hold of you.
Yes, sir, I'll do that today.
Mr. Hotchkiss, the court rules do allow your client to make a statement today. Do you wish to have her make a statement?
I don't believe so, Your Honor. I think we'll make our statements at the trial. Thank you.
Okay, we'll set the matter for a pretrial on November 10th at 8:30, and for trial and disposition November 17th at 1 p.m. Anything else the court needs to address today?
No, Your Honor.
Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. That concludes our hearing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, and next up is the Nefer miners. Caught. So we'll let Ms. Bowen in, and let's see, what are the parents' names? I'm guessing Shanna Nefer is the one signed in as Shanna Everett. All right, I think I've got everybody in the courtroom now on this matter. This is the matter of the Nefer miners. Can I have each of you identify yourselves for the record?
This is Madison Bowen with the agency.
Rebecca McCluskey.
Ms. Tuck? Ms. Tucker's present for the petitioner.
Internet is not the greatest today.
Okay, and let's see. I've got a Shanna Everett. Are you the mother?
Yes, Your Honor, she is.
I'm not clear that she can hear me. I didn't hear her respond. So her last name is now Everett? Or is that just the phone she's using? Okay.
No, her
Ms.
last
Everett,
name is legally changed from divorce.
Okay. Ms. Everett, can you hear me? Ms. Everett? Ms. Bowen, do you have a phone number for her?
I do.
Why don't you give me that, because I'm not able to make a connection. She either can't hear me or I can't hear her. I'm not sure, maybe both.
It should be the number correct on the petition at 517-257-7889.
Let me give that a try.
Hello.
Is this Shanna Everett?
It is.
Okay, this is Judge LaFlamme. For whatever reason, we weren't able to make a good connection with you via Zoom. But your participation by telephone is fine. Sounds like we can hear you quite well. So, has someone been appointed to represent the mother, or is she not a respondent?
She is the respondent, Your Honor, and no one's been appointed yet to my knowledge.
Okay. Ms. Everett, you are entitled to be represented by an attorney in this matter, either one of your choosing or one appointed for you by the court. Do you wish to have the court appoint someone to represent you this morning?
I do, Your Honor. I had asked at the initial with referee Bates, but I guess nothing has come about it yet.
Well, we'll take care of that this morning. Shannon, who's next up?
Mike.
Mr. Michael Kelly will be representing you. He is present today.
Thank you.
And let's see, is Mr. Neefer a respondent?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, has someone been appointed to represent him?
He has not, we have not been able to reach him yet. I have tried to make contact with him. Allegedly, he's in Florida at this time, but I have not been able to locate his whereabouts or even a valid phone number.
Okay, so Ms. Everett, I need to advise you of certain rights that you have. I'm sure the referee did this, but I'm going to go over them as well. As I've already advised you, you do have a right to be represented by counsel. At your request, I have appointed Mr. Kelly. That will be initially at public expense, but you may be asked to reimburse the county for the cost of your court-appointed attorney based on your ability to pay.
Okay.
Where are these children placed?
They're placed in two separate foster homes currently, but they're placed as two children together at each home. The foster families are very close, and so they have visits regularly multiple times a week.
Have any suitable relatives been explored?
There are no available appropriate relatives at this time. There may be in the future as Miss Everett's mother is looking to move to Michigan.
Okay.
Your Honor, if I may, just for your information, the agency's requesting termination of Mr. Neefer's parental rights. I don't know if the court would terminate his parental rights without an attorney being present for him. I don't, if I'm going to be appointed, I don't want to be appointed at the last minute. If in court intends on appointing someone for him, since they are intending on terminating parental rights for whatever reason. I don't see the basis, but I just wanted to throw that out there.
Your Honor, I am looking to file an amended petition this week. There are some things missing. We had to get out of state information. And so I've recently received that, and I plan to file the amended this week to address those issues. However, we are seeking termination for both parents.
All right. I think I will go ahead and appoint someone to represent the father. Shannon, who would be next?
Ivan will be next, and I'm gonna have to fill out his appointment form, so do I just put the info that's on the?
That's all we've got. He's not been, they've been unable to contact him. Okay, Mr. Brown, you've been appointed. Okay, let's see. Ma'am, you do have the right to a trial, either before a judge or before a jury, if you make a timely jury demand. Mr. Kelly, is it necessary for me to read the petition out loud?
No, Your Honor.
Do you waive probable cause?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Do you wish to have your client make any response to the petition today?
Not at this time, Your Honor.
Ma'am, you do have the right to appeal an order removing your children from your care. That right to appeal is triggered at the time of the entry of a dispositional order. That won't happen for a little while yet. But when that is entered, that will trigger your right to file an appeal. Ma'am, do you or does the father of any of your children have any Native American ancestry?
Not documented, no, sir.
Well, you said not documented. What do you mean by that?
We've never established our lineage. We both carry Native American, though.
Any idea what tribe that might be?
He's Cherokee and I am Iroquois.
All right, that is going to need to be explored. Ms. Bowen, if you could follow up, please. Bowen, sorry.
Okay, yes, I will.
Okay, Ms. Everett, because your children have been placed outside of the home and are not in the home of another parent, the agency does have an obligation within 30 days of placement to prepare an initial service plan. Your participation in that plan is voluntary without a court order. The plan will include information regarding the background of your children and your family, an evaluation of the experiences and problems of each child, a projection of the expected length of stay in foster care, identification of specific goals and timeframes for meeting those goals. On motion of any party, the court will review and modify the plan if it is in the best interest of each child. You may be held responsible for the cost of foster care up to $20 per day based upon your ability to pay. The court's going to schedule this matter for a pretrial and trial. Pretrial November 10th at 8:30. Trial and disposition November 17th at 1 p.m. Anything else that the court needs to address today?
If we could address parenting time really fast.
What's your recommendation?
For our hearing, it was ordered to be supervised only by MDHHS. We've had one visit so far, and to my understanding, it went well. Other than mom was brought to the home brought to the visit by a living together partner. We are willing to provide mom with bus passes so that he does not have to transport her, or if we can find another suitable option. However, the foster families reported that the children were quite upset at seeing him. So if we could have something written where mom utilizes our bus passes or mom does not rely on Joshua for transportation, something along that line. I don't know if that's a possibility.
I can certainly include that in my order. Mr. Kelly, did you want to speak to that?
Your Honor, not having an opportunity to speak with Miss Everett, I would defer to her. If she has other transportation available to her, I would ask that she take advantage of that. Miss Everett,
Yes.
can you speak to what the case
Can you
we're
hear me?
talking about?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
He's
Can you
asking
speak
you
to
if you want to address what the caseworker just expressed to the court about you finding transportation from someone other than the gentleman that brought you to the last visit because his presence was upsetting to the children.
I have my own vehicle.
Wonderful. I'm going to include in my order that you need to find transportation to visits by someone other than him. What was the name again?
Of the individual?
Yes.
Joshua Dempsey.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure it was identified in my order. Anything else the court needs to address today?
I would just ask Ms. Bowen, if you make contact with Daniel Kniefer, that you could provide me with his telephone number and let him know that his attorney is me and I've been appointed to represent him and that I will be contacting him.
I did receive a number from Miss Everett that I tried to call him at, and I left a voicemail, but I have not heard back from him on that number. So I do not know if that is correct, but I could provide that one to you.
Thank you. Would you email that to me?
Yes.
Thank you.
I do not know if I have it right off, so just can you tell me your name again so that I know who I'm sending it to?
Ivan Brown.
Ivan Brown, thank you.
So, Ms. Bowen, do you have an address for Mr. Kniefer?
I do not.
All right, Shannon, we will need to arrange for service by publication on Mr. Kniefer. Okay, and I think I already gave you a pretrial and trial dates, is that correct?
That's correct.
All right, anything further this morning on this file?
Your Honor.
Thank you all. Ma'am, that concludes our hearing. Have a good day.
You too, thank you.
Is that it?
Yep.
All right, that's it for this morning. And what do we got this afternoon, Shannon?
The clue.
Oh, yes, and we'll be addressing Ms. McCluskey's desire to withdraw from that, so we'll see what happens.
Ms. McCluskey, just please do it.
Yeah, I'm trying. I don't want to.
You can